before. So.
Yeah, as far as I know, it ain't filed yet. He was waiting for Pocky to get back. Pocky will not answer his phone calls. He won't return any letters to him or nothing. So
They
he
won't
said,
answer them at City Hall either.
No.
Yeah,
So can you acknowledge that you know we're recording and it's okay to record?
my name's Charles E. Carmichael. That's spelled C-A-R-M-I-C-K-L-E. It's different. I'm a two-war veteran. I'm 100% VA disabled. And my son, you can talk. I don't know if they need your picture or not.
If you want it on the camera, that's fine.
you got it. You're fine.
Yeah.
I'm Maurice Harris, M-A-U-R-I-C-E, H-A-R-R-I-S. I'm a veteran, 30% disabled.
Okay.
Roberta Carmichael, spelt the same way, C-A-R-M-I-C-K-L-E. And I'm Charles's wife and Maurice's mother.
All right, so you know we're recording. Give us permission to record.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All
What
right.
brought you to Royal Lakes?
We were up here on vacation. We were staying at Sore Lake, and we drove by here, and they had a big sign nailed to the tree out here for sale. So we called the people, who is Zachary, that owned the property, and they said it was in probate right now, that when it come out of probate, they would get with us, and we could purchase the property. I said, okay. A year later, we come up here, we went over to St. Louis. Her father is buried over there. He's a veteran. And we went over to see his cemetery. And on the way back, after she placed a quarter, a dime, a nickel, and a penny on his headstone in the shape of a lance, said, "Show me a sign."
That I'm back in Illinois. That I'm back home.
And we get a phone call from the people on the property saying it's out of probate. Do we still want it? I said, sure. Because we got a lot of family up here. And
48.
we got with them. I've got the administrator's deeds and everything in here where we quit claim deeds where we had it registered in Macoupin County. And the next month?
He wouldn't accept the deeds.
Now the next month, this other 3 lots that are here, we had called them and left a message. They got back with us after we went and seen her stepdad, who is a veteran. And she did the same thing. And we get a phone call from them saying, do you want to buy it? So we bought these 3 lots. It's all adjacent with 18 lots. And at that point, we went down and got the cabin to have it delivered out here. No problem, any way, shape, or form with any of this at this point. We come up out here, I got with the mayor to find out where the sewer and water lines were, so that when we could run the sewer and water up to here, they said, well, you have to put a $175 water deposit. And he said, we'll take it from there. I said, okay. About a week later, or 2 weeks later, my cabin's on its way from the Amana colonies. I told the mayor that this cabin was coming. He said, they're not bringing that cabin out here on this property. I'll stop them. They are not bringing it down these streets. I said, well, I'll have them come off Route 16 then with it. That's adjacent to my property. They come right off that hard road. Well, they brought the cabin down the road. He didn't stop them. They brought the cabin up to here. Now, at this point, the mayor has still not said nothing more about the water or the sewer.
Are any of the roads posted for weight limits?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. And this cabin ain't that heavy on the road.
Now, can I ask a question? You said something about they wouldn't accept the deeds.
No, he wouldn't
No.
accept the deeds.
See,
They were cocky
The mayor.
because they're
quick
quick claim deeds, and even though we had them registered in,
He's got nothing to do with it.
Why did he want them, or what?
oh, he had to have proof that we had them and that it was
Right
no
here.
longer in probate. So the probate
It's
judge
not
is,
his job to do that.
That's
Right.
not his business.
the probate judge in St. Louis,
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Zachary had to go to her, and they wrote a letter, and it is notarized and signed by a judge magistrate, and he wouldn't honor that either.
Said it had to have a raised seal. Anything to delay us from doing it.
He's the new village president, so go ahead, continue.
So anyway, we get the cabin out here against his will. We get it set up. We get a hold of MJM Electric Corp to come out. I talked to Mr. Gage up there at their office. he said, well, if you build a utility pole, we could tap on right here and to that telephone pole and put you in right here. Well, the mayor come out and said, well, you can't hook power on out here. He stopped them from running electric
Because we didn't own the property.
because we didn't own the property. I said, I got these 3 lots right here free and clear. And she called MJM and raised the flag with them about this is wrong. He said you had to have 3 lots. You have to have so many square feet to have water, electric, and sewer to the property, which
3
we
lots.
had.
And you got 3 lots.
We got these 3 lots right here.
Why do you have to have 3 lots to get electricity?
They don't.
That's
I
just
guess
rural.
they don't want a bunch of shanties put out here. I don't know. I kind of understand some of that, but
Have you ever seen a rule written anywhere?
yeah, there's right here is all these says you got to have 1,000 square feet of. You can dig through all that. Like I said, it grew when we got here. You have to have 1,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet of land to have sewer, water, and electric.
So, let me get this straight. Everybody
No.
everybody that owns property that doesn't have that square footage needs to go to the assessor's office and get their property declared uninhabitable. And then they want to pay property taxes to the city, since they won't be able to get water and sewer for it.
Right.
Well, then they can't live
There's
in
a
their
gentleman.
Well, they could
Hang
do
it up.
anyway.
There's a gentleman right down the
Well,
street
that's
here.
their water.
house. You don't want to go make it official.
No.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman right down the street here that's got 2 lots for sale. You probably seen the sign out there when you come up the road. He can't sell them. You can't do nothing with it. It's landlocked. You can't run sewer, water, electric to those 2 lots. The man's just sitting on a dead stump. He's
Yeah,
got
but
to
he
mow it all
bought
the
those.
time because if he doesn't keep it mowed, the mayor wants $50 a lot to mow 'em. And if he mows them, he's going to put a land injunction on your property.
So
Lien
does
on
the
the
city
property.
mow lots then?
Sir?
The city mows private lots?
Oh yeah, they'll mow them and put an
Who-
injunction
who
on your
mows?
property.
Puff Pocky and his friend.
Yeah,
Who gets the money?
Pocky.
it goes in his
Wrong
back
answer.
pocket.
Okay, thanks.
We ain't seen, they ain't never proved anything up there at the office yet of where the money comes from that's going in and how it's all being dispersed. They said this is what we have and this is what we're paying out and that's all. It's a goat rope up there.
Well, I FOIA requested that stuff. I might,
The,
I think if I didn't request the checkbook, I probably will.
the last meeting we went to, he told at the meeting that all of their liens or their entitlements
the
that they
water.
owe on the water system here was paid in full.
Everybody was paying $5 extra on their bill because they were in a deficit, $4,000.
There you go.
Now it's paid off. And my
It's paid
friend who
off.
lives in Shipman has been paying $5 a month for 40 years.
And she just said she just got her water bill and the $5 charge is still on there.
She said, I paid as much in 40 years as I did to hook onto this water 40 years ago.
Okay, so they weren't going to hook up your power.
And we finally got it
And
connected to
I got a
your,
hold of corporate and said, my husband is 100% disabled. We have 18 lots in Royal Lakes, and the men were within 35 minutes of hooking us up, and the mayor stopped them. I want to know what I have to do to get electric out here, because I have no electric, no water, and no sewer. The following Monday, we had electricity.
they came out and connected it. They said
They even
they
put
went
us-
through the codes and regulations for this township with their electric corp because
Now-
they're giving them kickback here for the
Is
electric.
Royal Lakes a village or is this Royal Lakes Township?
It's a village.
Okay. So there are 2 different sets of rules.
I don't really know. You'd have to.
And they
Look at
fixed
some
the
of the
thing for
paperwork.
Hank.
What's
They
it say on
threw
the
it
head?
out. So if we put more cabins out here,
Village.
we have a place to put 6 meters. And it's already installed. So they know what we're doing. They thought it was great.
So you said the township owns the water?
Yeah, the village had to pay back for the installation. I guess for the installation of the sewer and water lines out here. That's why they were charging the $5 because they were in a deficit for it. But yeah, you have to
Jersey
go
County.
through the town, the village, to pay the water bill, and they come and read your meters.
Where's your sewer
does?
plant?
That I don't know.
Who reads the meters?
The
Pocket
president
is right.
and his
I've
helper.
never seen one out
Oh, I
here.
thought you said the township read the meters.
No, but it's the village. There ain't no township. I'm correct. Stand corrected, because
Okay, so Pocky is the mayor,
Yep.
board president.
President.
And he checks the meters.
yeah, they go around and read all the meters.
Does he get paid to do that?
I don't have a clue.
I don't
Okay.
know,
I would
I
bet
know
he
he
does.
works for the village too.
He can't
He
work
can't.
for the village. That's a-
He does work for the
In
village.
what capacity?
He drives.
He gets paid?
I don't know if he gets paid or not. He might be volunteering his time.
He can volunteer his time, knock himself out, but he cannot be paid as an employee of the village and be the president. That's official
As
misconduct.
far as I know, he gets $100 a month for being the president.
For being the
Right.
president. What else he get?
Yeah. You
For
don't
mowing
know.
the yards, that's, you know.
Well, I'm back to the sewer question. The water is coming in from Gillespie.
No,
No,
Jerseyville.
Jerseyville,
Jerseyville.
rural
And
water.
we contacted
Okay.
them because of the problem we were having, and they said you still have to go through the mayor.
Okay, that's the water issue we've identified. Now you got sewer.
I don't know.
You don't know where your sewer plant is?
No,
There
I
is
don't.
no sewer plant. I can show you
Where's
where
the
they
sewer
drain the
go?
sewer at.
It goes out there in the main trunk, which is about that big around.
No. He's talking about a holding area, right?
When you connect to this sewer, where's it all go?
I'll show
know.
you.
You know where the sewer train
Oh
plant's
yeah.
at?
It's got the
Is-
fence around it where we seen all the geese last year.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's just an open dump holding pond?
Yes, sir.
So it's a community, what do they call them?
Village
There's a
pond.
sign on it says no swimming, no wading,
Oh,
no
there's
whatever.
They still do those type of septics in Missouri. It's
Yeah.
a lagoon. It's
Yeah,
a
lagoon.
Yeah.
community lagoon.
Yeah. That's
And
it.
and you have to pay for sewer?
Mm-hmm.
It goes off your water bill.
They match it to the water bill. Whatever your water is, that's what they charge you for sewer.
So what are they using the sewer money for?
Don't
I don't
know.
know.
Oh. They won't tell us.
They got a lot of
anything.
answering to do. Go ahead.
They can't get no, grants or anything to do
Let me
anything
tell you
here.
something. Pockett's
Yeah,
sister
because
is the
that's not
secretary of the
sewer.
treasurer. His girlfriend's the clerk. They say they're training a new one because there was going to be some.
Okay, one at a time. His girlfriend's a clerk. How do we know that's his girlfriend?
Because she lived with him.
Okay.
The other gal that's the secretary treasurer is the
That's his
lady
sister.
that raises the bullshit flag every time something happens.
Her name is Vicky. I don't know her last name.
and
It
gets
starts
him
with an L.
all upset and riled up, and that came down here and told me I had to give his name, his license, and his name and his license, and the man that was helping us, who does that for a living like my son did, he didn't want his name known anyway because he came up here to help us to make sure everything was done right because he does that for a living, and he volunteered his time. She wanted his name and address and everything too, and I would not give it to him.
So we were real polite about it and told them to get off our property.
They were
They're supposed to.
trespassing.
Leave our property.
So right now you're at a point where they've returned your water connection deposit.
And the
And
$1,000 money
$1,000.
order that I held, plus I had a
Okay,
500.
What was the $1,000 money order for?
Well, they're charging $2,400 to tap onto the water and sewer, and that's labor, backhoe, 2 people's labor putting it in.
That's just running
Parts.
across the road now.
I've got that piece of
The
paper
others
here
are
somewhere
on
too.
us, okay?
So it's mobile homes that have to have 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
This isn't a mobile home.
I know
No.
it. Neither is that over there. That's a camper trailer.
So that doesn't apply here.
I know it.
But he thinks it
You
does,
stopped
because
it.
it's his rules.
Who is the village attorney?
There ain't
They don't
none.
have one anymore.
They won't allow it.
Obviously.
Hey, Reticulo used to be the village attorney, and he quit.
Reticule, yeah. Reticule.
He's our attorney.
Okay.
They didn't pay him.
So they've returned all of your deposit money and
I got all my money back from
have
them.
they put in writing that they're not going to connect you?
No.
Not unless he answered Reticulo's letter.
Yeah.
And
No.
he told us if he didn't get to him by Monday, he was gonna go file an injunction against him.
No, the only thing he did in front of about 8 witnesses is said that he wasn't putting the sewer and the water in, he wasn't connecting to us. He's done with
Did
us.
you
He
witness
ain't
that?
doing nothing for
Okay.
us.
Yeah, and Mr. Dave was there, and Mr. Jefferson, and all the committee people were there, and a couple
So even though
other-
you've paid, they have verbally refused
Yes.
Yes.
to connect.
That's when
sewer
he
and
asked
water.
for the
But
money.
Yes.
they also gave him his deposit and everything back.
Hmm.
Yeah, a year and a half later.
Yeah.
So for a year and a half,
They held our money.
they've held your money. How long have you had to use the porta potty?
For a year and a half. Well, we left here October last year
Then
because
I
we couldn't
moved
stay
in-
here.
Then I moved in December up here while they was down there because I went through a divorce. And I was using it.
Mhm.
But you moved here and
In May.
you've had to use a porta potty
From
for
May.
a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because they've been holding your money and have not connected your sewer and water.
Correct.
Right.
And his excuse was when we first got it with him, he had done some sewer work for this guy in Bunker Hill,
And he owed him
and
money.
this guy owed him some money, so he's waiting for him to come out and put this in for us out there, tap onto the main trunks. Well, the guy never did ever get back with him. He said, he gave me the guy's name. I called this man. I messaged him on email. I did everything possible for this guy to get with me, and he never would ever get back with me. His name is Josh Baker out of Bunker Hill. So I told the president, he said, you get somebody to come out here and connect it up, and we'll get it done. So that's what I did. I went and rented the equipment. I have my son, his friend, which is my friend as well. We started trenching our lines. The president come out and said, you got the trencher? He said, well, just trench across the road, dig the hole over there. I will be back. He said, I got stuff to do. He said, I will be back if I have to be here to midnight to connect it up.
The president said that?
Yes.
Yep.
I will.
Mr. Pocky.
But then he denied all that at this meeting we went to.
What do you attribute the shift in willingness to do it, and then
I think it's
doing
his sister, the secretary.
and what's the issue with her?
She blows her skirt up and it gets
She
him
wants
all
to be the
upset.
president. I guess. I don't know.
Mr. Meticulo says she's the president.
So what triggered, we're going to do it, no we're not going to do it at all, here's your money back?
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, well, everything we done, like I said, he come out and I measured the
He was here
hole.
5 times.
He was here 5 times that day. I measured the hole out here where we started at, and it was 4 foot deep. He said, oh, that's more than deep enough. Then he denied saying it. He drove by, we put
We
these
were
lines
trenching
in,
it?
we got all these lines in out past the cabin, and we started burying them. Because he said everything was good.
And he told
Then
us.
he threw up the flag that I didn't inspect it.
And you
Well,
covered
there
it
is
up.
no inspection, so we went ahead and covered it up.
So I'm not going to connect because you covered everything up before we got out there to inspect it and make sure it's done correctly. I said,
We need to FOIA any water connection inspections and sewer connection inspections. I'm saying that more for the camera.
yeah.
Right.
The only thing you're going to see is where they tap onto the main trunk.
And
How
that's
many
what.
square feet is this?
This cabin right here, it's 16 by 48, and I think I figured it out at 700 and some odd square feet.
Yeah, we could live in the whole thing if we wanted to. But I'm 73 years old.
Anybody living on the other
No,
side?
it's
He was
just
gonna
like
live in
this right here. It
one.
ain't
It's just
finished.
like this.
On the other side then?
Yeah, you can look through the door there later, but it's just like this
Oh,
side right here,
that's
but it ain't finished.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
put a sliding barn door up so he can come over and eat breakfast, supper. I went back to work so we would have money to hire a lawyer. I'm 73 years old.
Tell you what, can you turn the camera to get her, could you say that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to work to hire the attorney because we have to have $1,500, which we don't have. And I'm 73 years old, and I shouldn't be working at all.
Not with your health condition.
No, I'm a cancer survivor. I had cancer 7 years ago.
See on this water connection fees for water and sewer, they have a non-resident fee.
I guess that, I don't know exactly what that means.
If you have water and sewer connected,
You have it.
you're a resident, aren't you?
Unless you were
but
camping.
I think that's what they're trying to do there with that non-resident fee. I think that's if you own the land and you want sewer and water tapped on and run to your property, but you ain't living there, then that's a non-resident.
So are any of these lakes usable?
I
No,
wouldn't
they're
get
full
in.
of-
Shut 'em.
They're
Or
full of-
is the Royal Lake being the Royal Flush and that's where it ends up?
Well, no, this place is separate. It's up on the hill, and it's fenced all the way around it, and it's on that back road over there.
And I've never seen it. So I don't know.
Okay.
But the lakes are separate.
But you see, when we rented all the equipment and everything,
He
he
told the mayor
said he
could
would
use
take
it.
off the equipment rental and the two-man labor rental. All I'd have to pay for is the parts and the tap-on fees. Resident. Plus they would subtract the $175 deposit, which I already paid them. And that meant I was gonna have to come up with like $2,400 to get that done.
That he was going to take that off, part of that off.
Mm-hmm. And I had all the money. I had all the money. I ain't got it now.
Does he have a cell phone number?
Yeah, he's got it. But
I got it in the phone, but he won't answer mine.
he won't answer anybody's.
He
Particular
texted
said
you?
he hasn't. He told him. He said he wrote him a letter and said
Write
if he
it down or
didn't
something?
Yeah, I'll
You
write
didn't
it down for you
get
because
a
I
hold
don't
of
have
him
no
by
way to text you.
today, he was going to take out the injunction.
Because I don't have your number. That's all right, buddy. I got a piece of paper right here. Basically, that's scrap because never did ever get anything done with it.
Might as well leave it, don't tear it up.
Yeah, don't tear
Tell
up
me
anything.
his number, I'll write it down.
Oh, okay.
The weird thing is, they changed all these rules in between board meetings.
Yeah. And they don't ask the people to vote on it of the village. They just the 5 people that's up there just says, okay, it's a law.
Well, I'm really confused. Because their math doesn't add up.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
618-420-7940. And I put in here Mayor Royal Lakes. That's
Is that a cell phone or is that the office?
no, it's a cell phone. Their office number, I think, is on one
What
of
are
these
you coming
papers.
up with? Probably the same thing I did.
Their office number is 618-836-7124.
You did finally get a hold of that kid though, and he said he was booked up through October.
Through September, into September. And that was back in May. But what gets me is if we'd have trenched across that road with that trencher, like
Oh,
he
he
said, go
told
ahead
you
and
he
do
had
it,
you arrested.
I would have been arrested.
If you add up the numbers for residents on this sheet,
Mm-hmm.
they say it's 1,400, but the math is 1,520.
I know. I ran into the same thing too. All right.
Maybe it's a discount.
Maybe it's scratch offs. I don't know.
So,
That's a poncho liner, isn't it?
Yeah, you mean
yeah,
that?
he puts it down
No,
so I
that's
can
a-
sleep at night.
That's a thermal
See, I
blanket.
have to lay down and sleep before I go to work.
That's a poncho liner.
No,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
not. That's a stinking flight blanket
Yeah.
Poncho liners look just
for Air
like
Force.
It's
so-
just a
Yeah.
square.
That. Well, that's right.
He's Army, I'm Air Force.
You're in the Air Force, that's right. You know what a poncho liner is.
He does that so he can watch
It's-
TV while I
It's
go
just
to
like
sleep.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, our field jackets had those
Yep.
liners in them. Same thing. It's thermal.
And by the way, we did all this ourselves in here.
Yeah, I like it.
We're not done. Of course, I lost from October to May of this past year because we were in Georgia because I couldn't stay here. We didn't have no sewer water.
It's kind of rough in the wintertime.
And see, they came out also and said, you can't, you got to have running water
This
know,
is
you
funny.
have,
You gotta see this. This is my running water.
you have to have running water and all that. Well, we got running water.
There's running water.
Got
Yeah,
running
yeah.
water.
Do that again, he said.
Do it again.
12-volt battery,
Yeah,
water pump,
yeah.
And a barrel.
you got running water.
Just like a camper.
There you go.
But the health department says as long as you ain't got any children, it don't make any difference if you go
Run
outside and
water.
dip it out of a bucket.
Right.
They're just concerned if you have children in the home.
Which
we don't.
water and it was running.
Yep.
Well, rainwater runs off
Right.
the roof.
Well, I had a.
Oh, they'll be wanting to charge you to
When
collect
I was
that.
here in December, they said, "Oh, you can't stay here because you ain't got running water." There's a blue square bucket over there on my porch.
It's got a
It's
valve
got
on it.
a valve on it. I said, "Is that water running?"
Yep.
I said, "There's
See
no
my
kids
wash
living
machine
there."
up there? That washes one load of clothes. It's as old as I am. You plug it in outside, you put water in it,
Yeah, and we use it.
and I use it.
You want me to get down?
Yeah, take the thing off the top of it.
It's got an agitator, ringer, and everything.
And I bought that for $50. I'm proud of myself.
God bless you.
And I also use that, which is my washboard.
That's the ringer.
It's got a ringer,
Yeah.
so that's half the dryer.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I hang them over the rail. It's got an
That
edge.
stayed on it, that shit.
And it even heats the water.
And it heats the water.
Yeah. Got a heater in here.
Oh, it's
We
electric.
got the tub.
Man.
And I gave $50 for it. I'm very proud. I set on the thing out there. I took a
Do you
picture.
use it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna
We
offer,
had
to
to.
buy
I
it.
used
I
to
was
use
gonna
it.
offer to buy it from you. If you could use it.
I used to use a wash board, and now I've got a Kenmore.
Huh?
That little sales place down there, Point Hill.
They got one.
They got one in there.
I'm a country girl. I grew up with a cistern and no water. Just running water out of the
It's like
cistern.
And I run my own electric.
We collect the
I run
water
my
off
own
our air
server.
conditioners to wash floors and stuff like that.
And last winter I ran the dehumidifier in here and I got 14 gallons of water a day, and that's what I used to wash
Yep.
my dishes with, clean my floors, and wash my clothes.
Yep.
And you have a village, you won't give you water.
No.
Yes,
They won't even sell you water.
Right.
right.
We gotta go to Bunker Hill with 2 55-gallon drums.
$2 will get us 3 55-gallon drums.
$1 will get you
$1.
two of them.
Two of them blue barrels.
And then you gotta manhandle them.
But
No,
the
we
thing,
got an electric water pump that we
but
pump
the,
it
you
in
know,
the trailer and then transfer it into those little
the
blue
mayor, the president, he said it's all about bringing money into the community.
If that was the case, he'd have hooked you up long ago.
I'm spending $85 a month for that porta potty out there. $60 a month for the service, and then every 2 weeks I have it dumped, and that's another 25 bucks. So it's 60 and then 25, 60 and 25. I'm spending money for that porta potty that could be going to them.
And if I gotta have the trailer pumped out, it's $35.
Yeah,
To have them pump the trailer out. But we don't use the
bathroom in the
bathroom
trailer.
in the trailer.
We just
take
go over there and take a
showers.
shower. That's where we go and take a shower, by the way. It's my son's house.
So that can just drain into the driveway.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, just sink water and stuff. Yeah,
Right.
no
So
waste.
Well, you think of anything else?
No, we didn't get a video of the outside and the camper and the porta potty. And then up there, where you guys terminated your.
Yeah, I'm going to take you and show you around the community here where the cesspool's at, I guess. She knows where it's at, I don't. But we can show you where the residents are. Right over here on the corner over here. This village is broken down into sections. And they got kind of like an overseer for every section. Okay?
I don't know.
The lady that's overseer for this section right here lives right over here in this big brown house. Now she was out here the day the mayor said that he would be back and hook up our sewer and water.
bring the pots.
And he denied it up there in the city hall.
And called
she
her a
said,
liar.
I heard you say it. I was sitting right there in the vehicle and she heard him say it.
Yep.
And he said she was lying.
So what, if you have a message you want to convey to anybody in this community, what would it be?
Don't bother coming. It's a waste of your time.
Yes.
Exactly.
I thought you were gonna say, everybody show up at the next meeting.
Oh, nobody goes to them.
No, yeah,
Nobody goes.
Unless they got a question, nobody goes.
You mean the
Last
residents?
three times
No,
I've been
it's
to
the
those village
Council
meetings,
member, the
there's
mayor.
been us and
See, there
maybe
should
one
be
or
6
two other
council
people, that's
members.
it.
There's only 5.
There's only
And they have a
five.
vacancy. Why aren't they filling the vacancy?
Well, they ain't got any more relatives.
Well, that's like they told, I've been told by people out here, if I run for mayor, I'll never make it because I'm white.
Because you're white?
Because I'm white.
What's that got to do with anything?
They've never had a white mayor out here.
And now it's
So,
65% white.
so your mayor's black?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think there's a racial element as to why they're
I'm
picking
beginning
you
to
up?
really believe that.
I'm starting to think that.
Have they
because
ever
his
insinuated
thing,
that, or
No,
No.
it's just the way he acts. When he comes up here, he can be nice as pie, just like we are talking now. And you say one thing wrong, and he just, whoom.
You don't have to say
he'll look you in the
Also
face and
rude.
say, this is okay, that's okay, and he'll go, and then later it's all, no, I ain't doing it, I ain't
I
doing
ain't
it.
said it or.
But he's got double standards. The man that you spoke to earlier, he's got a foundation out there that he wants to build a garage. And the president told him, he said, well, all you gotta do is just tie into your existing water line and run your water over there to it. But yet,
We can't.
when I want to run water out here to my garage, I gotta have a separate meter.
no, you don't.
I mean, but it's double standards,
He
that's, you
said
know.
everything we got planned out here, to include my trailer, has to have separate meters, separate sewer line.
This is your property. It's your water line. As long as you're not supplying water to other residences that you're renting out,
Right. Right.
he can't do that.
And we have told him. Well, he told him that if we do this other buildings to rent out, we would run separate meters.
But if I'm paying the water bill, what difference does that make?
As long as the bill's getting paid, but
Yeah,
When
and
it
it's
comes-
on my property. It's
Right.
not their property. If
yeah,
I
when it
just-
comes to separate residences, though, I mean, there's an issue of if you don't pay and they shut you off, then it ends up shutting them off.
Right.
And that's why a resident has to have a separate water
That's
meter.
why the electric company went with this grid plan for him, where he can put in the separate 6 meters.
Right.
They don't pay us, we turn it off. But we
Correct.
said, well, that's not gonna be a problem because we're going to rent them utilities included.
Right.
Because we're trying to help people out. If we get somebody in here that can't afford no more than $500 a month, well, that's fine. Half the cabin, it's $125 a week. Where else can they live for that and get their utilities? We'll foot the bill. No questions asked.
So as far as the makeup of the board, it sounds like you've got a vacancy. Is the board all black?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of it.
Okay. What and is that the predominant makeup of the community?
No, it's
Never been
65% white.
65%
man.
white here.
Okay.
Well, that's why you want it down.
He's a man's dog. He ever since Bud moved up here, he's always with Bud.
Yep.
He's our dog. But
All right.
he's-
Well, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I don't know what all you can do for us or anything, but we got to do something because I've already told her we can't live in these conditions through the winter. I mean,
Well,
I've got.
we're gonna attempt to get him to talk to us today.
Well,
You said he'll be at City Hall, why don't we wait till tomorrow and go to City Hall?
You gotta be there at 7:30, by 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
He'll be gone.
7 o'clock in the morning, he'll be
It's
up there
only
at
an
the
hour's
utility
drive.
shed.
We could shoot out.
Because he avoids you. He will avoid you.
Yeah,
if he
Yeah,
knows
we
you're
could shoot out here first thing in the morning.
That's fine.
Just don't let him know.
And after.
And he used the excuse back in May. Well, back in 2018, the backhoe was broke. Okay. And in May this year, it was still broke.
You offered to let him use the backhoe though in the trencher that
Yes,
we had
I did.
here.
I did. But he used the excuse that he couldn't hook anything up because he didn't have the equipment. It was broke. Well, now I'm finding out he can't hook it up anyway because he ain't licensed or bonded to tap onto them main trunks.
Why do you have to be licensed and bonded?
Because you're tying into the main trunks of sewer and water lines. They have to be done by a licensed
Physical
When we
plumber.
did, when we did the water lines from, Carlinville down to Plainview, we had to have a licensed plumber there to hook
Oh.
in every water meter
Okay.
To the main.
to the main.
They could run the lines, but they couldn't tie them into the.
So how was he planning on doing it?
I don't know.
Lied.
I said I'd love to catch him. I'd love to catch him tying into somebody's property with water and sewer lines to him.
He did. Over at Charlie's.
But the sewer and water was already there.
Yeah, but they had to redo that water line, main water line coming in to Charlie's meters, because the guy crimped the hose.
Yeah, but that was
crimped the
on
line.
that side already.
I thought it was on the other side.
No,
Okay.
where it got busted was on the same side as the trailer. And if you wanna go for a little ride, we can take you around to show you the area here. And if you need any copies of this, like this right here, you can have that.
I made copies of that.
Okay.
I've got copies of all this. The ordinances, I looked through most of those, and they all have dates on